guys, and then you get going.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, and greetings from Pxg headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona. My name is Nick Yankee, and I'm your MC for today as we have another awesome Instagram live fitting. Really looking forward to some great time today with a super athlete who is also a golf nerd and a fellow lefty that I'm happy to have here. We have Chase Sexton, 450 Supercross, two-time East Coast Supercross champion, and all-around great athlete, as you're going to see. But resident golf nerd, and we're happy to have him here to show him what Pxg can do and take some time to walk him through our new technology and how it can help his game. So, Chase, as I mentioned, lefty, awesome athlete. We've got Tyler Gallagher, one of the best fitters in the world in the Pxg universe. So we're going to let Tyler run the action today. I'll be hopping in with any questions, send them through, we'll kick them over to ours, and we'll be happy to answer them. But otherwise, I'm going to let these guys get to work and show them what Pxg can do. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
How's it going? What's up, Chase?
How are you?
Good, man. All right, so just going to kind of run this like a normal fitting with you. If you have any questions about the club at all, anything, ball position, let me know. I'm going to let you loosen up for a little bit here. I got you in our Gen 4 XP head. So go ahead and loosen up, and then we'll take a look at some numbers and dive into it. Good swing. How long have you been golfing for?
About 3 years. Yeah, I broke my femur in 2017.
Yeah.
And then I just moved to Florida, so I got healthy and I couldn't ride yet, so I started playing golf.
Nice.
And ever since then it's stuck, so.
Just fell in love with it?
Yeah, I'm slowly getting better, but it's not easy, that's for sure.
It's a tough game. Hopefully we can make it a little easier for you today. Swing. You ever been custom fit before?
One time, but it was kind of like a quick fitting. It was like definitely not the standards of this.
Okay, cool.
Talk about your golf game a bit. What do you like to see? What shot scares you? Where do you get in trouble?
My driver scares me.
Okay.
I don't like my driver. I have a pretty aggressive hook. As you can see, this will turn into with my driver, it'll turn into a hook real quick. So.
Okay.
How's that club look? How's it feel to you?
Yeah, it's good. I didn't draw that one as much, but yeah, it trips me out because they all look like they have like a blade look to them, but it's not.
Yep.
I can tell it's definitely a forgiving club because I don't hit off the middle every single time.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's our XP head. That's the extreme performance. I'm going to throw you in the player's head in a minute. I want you to swing about 2 more for me.
Okay.
We're going to go to a different head and just kind of talk me through what you're thinking, what looks better to your eye. Nick, what's that launching at over there?
That one is going to be a little flatter. We're at 13.7 there, but we've been in the mid to upper 15s.
Okay.
With low 5,000 spin, and he's getting a lot out of it. We've been riding right around 188, 190 carry.
Awesome. It's pretty good in the 7-iron.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty far compared to what I usually hit my iron.
All right, perfect. I'm going to take that out of your hands real quick. I'm going to pop you in the P head. I like all the numbers that Nick just said. I'd like to see our launch get up a little bit higher, just to let me know that we're going to hold a green a little bit. It's coming in a little hot right now. There's a couple ways we can do that. We can do that in head and in shaft.
Okay.
So right now we're just going to kind of narrow down a head for you, and then we'll start playing around from there.
Okay.
One of the things that's really neat about how we design irons is the technology, be it the face internal material, is the same. When you go from a T, which is tour head, to XP, which is extreme performance, it's not something where if you're a better player, you're playing a forging. If you're an average player playing a big casting, it just changes in the offset, the length of the head, and how we use that inner material to accommodate it. But what you're going to see is it'll get a little shorter heel to toe and a little less offset, and probably look just a touch cleaner to you. But it's still a really nice look from the top down, regardless which set you're in. But you're going to notice one will just kind of immediately feel better to you, just because the length of the head, the offset, and that stuff. Talk through what you're seeing and feeling, just gut instinct on, I like this better, the other one felt more solid, Because a lot of it's just based on your timing.
Yeah, I noticed what I'm playing right now. Like this looks like skinnier from the, like looking at it, like from the top, looks a little skinnier.
Than what you're currently in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reality is the one that you were just hitting is most likely more forgiving than what you have right now. It's just a cleaner package, which is something our engineers work really hard on.
Okay. And which one is this one?
This is going to be the player's head. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the one you just had. From the top, it's going to look about the same.
Yep. Still a little higher or no?
Yeah, that one went a little bit higher there. We're at about 16 on launch right there. You're going to notice the color is going to change a little bit, and I'm just trying to tag the shots as far as the XP versus the P head so we can really fine tune those numbers. Do you notice a difference in them at all?
I don't know. I feel like I struck this one better than the last one.
You like that one a little bit better?
Okay. I don't know, I feel like it's going right more, but it could be also my swing. My swing changes. I could hit this one way left, so. It looks pretty similar, like from the top, though.
Okay, good. So. One thing we could do to help that is, it looks like you're getting it a little more off the heel. I could bend that a little bit flat for you, which I'm going to do here in a minute.
I think that was off the heel again.
Good swing
A
there.
little straighter.
What'd that launch out there, Nick?
We're up to 17 there, 5,400 spin.
Oh, perfect.
So,
What's the carry?
175 on the last one.
Okay.
So for me,
That's right where my I
we've
usually hit my 7-iron.
175, 178 on the last couple.
Okay. Oh, I chunked that.
Little miss there.
a little behind it.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's the hook.
That's that hook. We're going to fix that here in a minute.
Well, yeah, the driver, I can hit it. One day I could hit a fade, and then all of a sudden it just turned. My miss is a hook, but I could hit it any direction really. Oh, I thinned that one now.
All right, give me one more swing on that. And I'm going to take that, and what I'm going to do is I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bend it about 2 degrees flat for you.
Yep.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this club right here. If this is standard, right? If I went upright with it, I would take it up this way. I'm going to take it flat. You're still going to have a little draw, but I'm hoping it's not going to be as exaggerated, right? Yeah. So give me a minute. I'll be right back.
So how does one get into the Supercross world? What does that look like?
Well, basically, I started riding when I was 2.5.
Yeah.
So my dad got me into it, and then
Does your dad ride, I assume?
he did, but not like professionally. He just did it for fun, and then I kind of just took with it. I played baseball a little bit, and then didn't really do anything else. I loved riding, and obviously I was talented enough to kind of get to a high level, but yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's a long road, but it's been fun.
So how old were you when you first raced professionally?
I was 17. Yeah, my first pro race, actually, that's when I broke my leg. And then
Nice start.
yeah, it wasn't a good start. And then that's when I found golf. But then I came back and I raced that summer at the end of this, would have been 2017. And then, yeah, from there on, I just moved to the 450 class this year.
Okay.
Or end of last year. And then, so now we're at the Premier Division. So it's been fun.
The first time that you get to a point where you're covering some really big carries and some big jumps, like what's the mental process the first time where you're like, man, I just got to let it rip and just trust it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of instinct as well. Like you kind of have that adrenaline, and I don't know. For me, it's just normal.
Yeah.
But for a normal person, they think about it a lot more. But for me, it's just like it's a no-brainer kind of thing. So
Just kind of see it and feel the
yeah,
touch and let it go.
it's a feel thing. Yeah.
All right, man. We went a little flat with this, so go ahead and give me a couple swings on it.
How do you like flatten? You just like
Yeah, so we have a little bend machine over here, and we just put it in a like a clamp,
Yep.
and then we could just bend it right there at the hosel. Good.
So you could see through impact. That looked better already.
Better. How'd that feel?
Yeah, good. When I hit like a draw, like that's like basically 'cause I'm coming so far from the inside, or
Yeah, it could be a couple different things, but yeah, a lot of times it could be you're coming a little inside out with a closed path or a closed club face. Yeah, so a draw's not a bad shot to have, but yeah, if you want to hit a fade, you got to come from the outside a little bit more. Good swing there. I'm going to pop you in that tee head real quick, and then we're going to kind of start getting into some shafts once we kind of figure out a head. What'd you like the difference between this and the XP? Which one do you feel like you hit a little better? Thank you.
I think I made better contact with this one.
The P head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially my first couple of swings from the other one wasn't that good.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I like the launch on this a little bit
Yeah,
better
it's
as an
definitely higher.
average.
It's
Yeah.
definitely higher.
Nick, what's our average on that? Can you tell?
16, but there were a couple before we flattened it.
Okay.
The change, I mean, since you flattened it, you're 16 and a half.
Okay.
What's like ideal?
I like between like 17 and 20 to get it up there a little bit.
I usually hit the ball pretty high normally.
You're a little high ball hitter usually?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I get, like, especially when I'm playing like grass, like I can get pretty steep on it, so I hit it pretty high usually.
Okay, good.
And there's two components to that. Obviously, launch angle is one end, but we're also looking at angle of descent. How is it coming into a green, and making sure that we're coming in at an optimal angle so that it's going to spin and hold the way that you want it to. You produce a good amount of speed. So when you look, like the XP that you started with is a really fast golf club. And I think you could feel that and see it just in the numbers. As we go down here, you're still a ton of speed. There's a lot of forgiveness because of how we design clubs, but this is definitely more a play on the precision end of things. And we're going to see, again, just continued change in the launch angle and the descent angle here.
All right, go ahead and give me a couple on that one. We're going to do about 4 or 5 on that. I'm going to switch this again so it changes colors on you.
So just gut instinct when you look down on that, notice a difference, similar.
On this one? Is this a different one?
Yep.
That's the tour head, that's the tee head.
Yeah. I noticed the dots right away, but I don't. When I look at it, I mean, for me, it's like, I'm so like, not, like, I'm in tune, but I don't like look at them that much. But yeah, is this one like smaller?
Yep, it's going to be a smaller head. It's more of a blade style club, so.
This ought to be interesting.
Yeah. Good swing there.
I actually think I hit that out of the middle.
Yeah, you hit that pretty good.
Well, I can do one, but. So this is like. It's like a pro plays. There's another step higher than this one, or this is like the top.
That would be our top. That would be the smallest club that we make as far as size of the face.
Yeah.
So. How's that feel to you?
I mean, that one I hooked, but it feels good. Like I've hit both of those. I think. I mean, you probably tell me, but I think I hit them somewhere in the middle.
Is it intimidating looking down at that? You feel a little more confident staring at the other one, or you feel confident looking at that
I feel
too?
cooler playing at this one.
You feel cooler, yeah. Of course you do.
But
that's half the battle.
is it gonna be good for me every day? I don't know, but chunk that.
Yeah, give me these last 2, and then we're gonna kind of look at the numbers a little bit and see which head's right for you.
Yeah, they all feel pretty good when you hit them out in the middle, but.
Yep. Good swing. Good swing.
That was pretty good.
Yep.
That might have been my best ball flight so far.
I like that. What that launch at?
I like when it finishes left of the line, not right of it.
What was that one at?
17 and a half, 5,400 spin.
It's really good.
That one.
A little exaggerated.
There we go.
All right, I'm going to walk you over here. I'm going to show you kind of our screen right here, what I look at, just to kind of fine tune everything. So if I maximize this, it has all our numbers, everything we've hit. I'm going to just kind of take our averages here, right? So this one here is going to be your T head, average launching at about 16.3, and the player's 16.0, and then 15.5 in the XP. So that's telling me that XP is a little bit too much for you. You're hitting it too low. We're not going to come in and hold a green there.
Yep.
We're spinning both the players and the tour head really good, 53.99 and 53.64. I like both of those, and then for our total distance, 185, 182, it's really good for a 7-iron. So we're kind of in between those. We're going to hit a couple more of them, kind of see what you like. I'm going to pop a different shaft in here and see how you like the feel of it. You have any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
So you guys make 3 different irons basically.
Yeah, so within 0311 is our signature series of irons.
Yeah.
It's the best of what we can throw at it technology-wise. It's the thinnest space in golf. It's a 5-time forging, and there's a really soft internal material, and you can feel that at impact, right? So different variations on it. Like I mentioned, that you have the XP that's a little longer, a little more offset as you get down into the tee. That as you get into the tee head, I'll just spin you around so we're not blocking you out to the backside there. You're all good. So, like the P and the T that we're talking through at the moment, when you go from the P to the T head, as you noticed, a little bit shorter, a little bit less offset when you get into the T. The difference on it is, you can just toss the T back on here. So when you look P versus the T, you can see it's a little bit thicker on the bottom, so that internal material, we can put more in there to really support the face. So on some of your miss hits and even on your center one, that's where we're gonna get a little bit more speed out of it. Overall, design-wise, though, one thing that we do incredibly well when you look on this top edge, because I mean, this is a little bit thicker club as we can see through the bottom and through the sole, but you don't notice it as a player because we trim that top down really clean. We want visually that look to be really nice to the eye, and we're going to hide the tech in the back so that we're giving you everything we can, but you get that look that you want on it.
Yeah, because all of the clubs I hit, they all look very similar from like the top. Looking at them from the top, obviously they're smaller club heads, but they look similar. They don't look like super chunky.
No, and since day one, when we started our company, Mr. Parsons, one of his goals, he wants everything to look like a blade from top down, to be very clean. But one thing, we want you to be able to mix and match within our set and have it feel like it flows really well.
Yeah.
So if you do a mix of T and P, that it doesn't feel like you're playing different irons, and that we can make them integrate really well so that your yardages are what you want them to be.
Okay.
A little different shaft in there. It's kind of a hybrid shaft between steel and graphite. Walk me through what you're feeling when you hit this, okay? Talk to me about weight, everything, how it feels.
Is this thing heavier?
Yep.
Yeah, it feels heavier.
It's going to be 115 grams. We just came from a 95-gram shaft, so.
No, that one's left.
That's all right.
There we go. I didn't go right.
Does that feel too heavy when you swing it?
Let me do one more. Let me see.
Yeah. When you change weight classifications, it always takes a couple. It's going to feel a little different timing-wise.
Swing.
That one felt good.
That was a good swing there.
Yeah, I mean, what do you like about that one?
So when you add weight, does it make it go higher, or is that?
It can, and one of the cool things about the Gym 4s is that weight in the back. We can add weight to that club, and we can also take some out of the head too. So we're going to mess with that here in a little bit. I want about maybe 2 or 3 more swings on that guy just to see how you like the weight of the shaft, then we'll start playing around with the head a little bit.
I might be right, but yeah.
That's the miss there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty drastic.
Swing.
Good ball.
How you liking the feel of that right now?
Yeah, it
compared to
feels
the
good.
first
Yeah.
shaft?
All right,
That's really good right there.
Yeah.
Does it feel pretty good with the weight in that shaft versus the other one? I'm going to put the P head back in here real quick.
Feels like I have like a little bit more control, a little bit more with like the club head.
Right.
I don't know, with it being a little heavier. I actually thought I was going to like a lighter one, but the first whatever club I hit the first time, it was just, I feel like it was too light almost.
Okay. We're going to throw this P head back in here again.
So that was the T, right?
Yes.
That was the T head, yep. So we're going from the T back to the P head. So again, just touch longer, a little bit more offset. Not a crazy amount, but.
What was carry on that one?
Those were pretty long busts. We were in the 174, 176 carry, which for a T head in the loft on those is quite far. But the nice thing is we're seeing launch in the mid-18s.
Yeah.
And a descent angle. So your first, when we start with the XP, your descent angle into the green was at 40 degrees, which just think of it from from a loose perspective, we went from 40 to 46 degrees, so
Yeah.
we're coming in with 6 additional degrees of depth.
Yeah.
The playability and how it's going to hold into the green is significantly different there. And that's, again, we're going to go through some shaft stuff. We'll get you in the right weight classification and the right shaft profile, but then there's some really neat things we can do with the weighting of the head itself and adjust that on the fly to make sure it's exactly the swing weight and weight you want it to be. So there's some levels of customization there, but we're definitely getting in the right spectrum with the heavier weight.
Yeah. Are the greens pretty hard out here?
Yeah, they can be. Yeah,
they,
especially in the summer.
They hit and bounce.
Yeah, they hit and go out.
Florida, they stuck in the they're in the ground basically at the green. It's so soft.
The ball
I mean,
gets
obviously, with the nicer course you play, the more they're gonna skip. But most of the courses out there, have you ever played Owlsworth?
Yeah.
It's you played there?
Yeah.
I played there probably I think 3 or 4 times now. That course, you'll get some bounce on it, but besides that, they pretty much just stick in the ground. Even my drives stick in the ground too.
Swing. What's your favorite course?
I like Owlsworth's just hard. It's just a hard golf course, but I really like. Have you played Orange County? You played Orange County?
I haven't.
Oh yeah.
You played Orange County?
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty fun. It's open. That's why I like it. But
that does help.
yeah, it's pretty easy off the tee. So for me, that's nice. I like those 2 courses, but. Austin.
Swing.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but.
No, not as exaggerated, right? Now we're back in that flatter head again. Good swing.
Just gut instinct between the heads. Do you have a preference as we've gone from the tee back to the P in terms of look, feel? There's no right or wrong answer.
Like I said, I feel cooler when I play the other one, but I don't know. If I go out there, it seems like I'm hitting the middle more than.
With the P head, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I hit those other ones. I hit the middle pretty good, but I feel like the other one it moves more. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Take a look at our dispersion here. I'll show you exactly.
So when you play a tour or your what do you say the less forgiving iron, does it move more when you hit it or is it pretty much similar? Is ball shaping easier with a
blade versus a
Yes.
bigger club? As you kind of get smaller into the heads, yeah, you can shape the ball a little bit better. The P head and the T head are pretty similar. I mean, the P's a little bit bigger. You can shape
Yeah.
the ball fine with the P.
Yeah.
The T's definitely going to be easier too, but your misses are going to be a lot more exaggerated, right?
It's always a balance of
That's pretty good.
responsive versus forgiving, right? It's no different. I mean, tight or loose throttle, right?
Yeah,
How quickly do you want it to react to what you're doing? With a T, you're going to have in a tour head less offset, a little shorter. You're going to have a greater element of control, but it's also up to you to control it a little bit more because of that, right? So your miss, if your miss is that you turn the head down, it's going to respond more to that. As we go into a P and you have a little bit more offset and a little bit more length, the club is going to take out some of that side movement for you a little bit, so it's going to calm some of that down. So it's a matter of finding that right balance. Obviously, this is a game of misses.
Obviously, if I went out and played great every day, I'd probably play the harder golf club to hit, but most of the time I'm not going to play the best out there, so.
If you look at the monitor over there, you can kind of see the circles I've got up right there. So that yellow circle right there is you in the P head. A little bit tighter dispersion versus the pink being the tour head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So our dispersion's a lot better in the P head. So in my professional opinion, I like the P for you.
100%.
You're okay in the T, but you're going to be a lot better in the P.
Yeah, my misses aren't going to be as
right.
big,
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to make your misses better and your greater shots even better.
I kind of expected that.
All right, perfect. I'm going to try changing the weight on this guy real quick. How'd the weight of the shaft? Do you like the weight of the shaft a little bit better now that it's?
I think it's especially with launch and stuff, it looks better.
Perfect.
And when you fit on a mat, launch, obviously it shouldn't make a difference. It doesn't. You see any difference when you play in grass than a mat with launch angle or no?
I mean, a little bit you can. I haven't really noticed it. The difference with the mat is it's a little softer, right?
Spin you around.
What's that? Oh, I got to spin around. My bad. So your chunk shots aren't going to be as chunky on a mat as they would be outside on the grass.
And if anything, indoors, you tend to get a little bit less spin.
Last spin?
Yep.
Less spin, just because of the surface. You don't get, because you think about it, you're not getting down through it the same way with compression where you're ripping out a divot, so you're just not getting as much pinch on the golf ball. So we're always factoring that in a little bit. We want to see it maybe a touch on the low side spin-wise, knowing that when we get you outdoors, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So what he's doing right now on the Gen 4, one of the really neat things about this iron, in the past, with not only us, but the industry at large, the club head essentially weighed what the club head weighed, right? And if you were really tall and they wanted to make the club head lighter, or if you're shorter and they want to make it heavier to offset it, a lot of times you do that through weight that goes into the hosel, which really screws up the center of gravity. When you look at our clubs, we use tungsten screws in the back to manipulate where that weight goes, but in the Gen 4, this large center weight allows us to put the center of gravity in the right place, but as you're going to experience, it allows us to also go really light or really heavy and make sure that it's exactly what you want it to be. There's really never been this element of customization. I've worked in golf forever, and we've never been able to do that for someone. Honestly, I was super pumped when I got fit for it because I've never understood what it felt like of the two extremes. There's no right or wrong answer. We're going to look at the numbers, but all we want from you is just gut preference. As we go light, as we go heavy, hey, that felt better. I'm more aware of where the club is. I'm less aware. And we'll see. But that's where the element of customization, then, I mean, it'll be built down to your exact spec, what shaft we want, but to the point of the exact weight configuration you want it to be, down to how the head and the shaft play together, so that it's truly exactly what you need it to be, not an industry standard.
Okay.
So I went a little bit lighter with this one. It's going to be a 4-gram weight in the head versus an 8-gram weight.
Okay.
So just kind of walk me through what you're feeling as you swing it a couple times and which one you like better. And then we'll obviously take a look at the numbers and see what we like. How's that feeling to you?
Pretty good.
Can you tell a difference or not, or no?
For me, I could go play, or how I've been, I just kind of, obviously I know my irons pretty well, but I could get a new iron and play it pretty well because I'm all over the place. So for me, the numbers are going to tell more than how I can feel it, but it feels pretty similar. I can't really tell.
Just do this last one. Nick, can you read me a couple of numbers on that teal color right there?
Yeah, you bet. So we're 18.5 launch, 5,700 spin. Carry number went up a little bit as well. So increase in launch, increase in spin, increase in total carry.
So you're going to get obviously more club head speed with the lighter weight.
Right. So we have a heavier shaft now and a little bit lighter in the club head, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're getting that launch up there where we wanted. Remember, we started at 15.5, and now we're up to 18. 18 is what you said over there?
Yep.
Awesome.
That wasn't very good.
I like that.
Really
I think
good.
I caught that a little thin, maybe.
Tell you what, brother, if that's your thin miss, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I usually, if I'm going to miss the ball, it's going to be usually a thin, but.
All right, good swing.
I think that might be right.
I'm going to take that right now. I'm going to pop a different shaft in there again. Talk to me about your iron makeup. What's it look like? What's the longest iron you play in your bag? 3 iron, 4 iron, 5 iron?
5 iron, but so this is where I have my mind's at right now. I'm thinking about just, if I can't hit my driver, I can't hit my 3-wood either. So I don't know. I want to get to an iron where I can just hit it off the tee. If I can't hit my driver, my miss of the 3-wood's the same.
Right.
5-wood's the same, and I only have a 4 hybrid.
Okay.
So it's not. It's 210 off the tee, 220. So it's not going to go long enough where as long as I want it. But I do want to I want to see if I can hit a longer iron. But
How do you like the hybrid? Do you hit your hybrid all right?
yeah, I hit my hybrid pretty good. But it's like I said, it's just not long enough.
We've been talking about your misses and the exaggerated miss that you have over there to the right. How is it with the hybrid? Do you?
I mean, I do the same thing pretty much, but I hit my hybrid because it's more like an iron swing. So I hit it. I play my irons better than I play my longer clubs, so I tend to hit it pretty well. But obviously, the miss is to the right still.
Right. One of the things I like having a 4-iron in my bag, and for you with your swing, I'd like to see you with a 4-iron.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really good. One of those options that we would have, go ahead, I just changed that shaft. It's going to be a little bit lighter. It's 105 grams there. Tell me how you like that. One of the things that we could do is we could throw like the XP head, the bigger head that was hotter. You're hitting it a little bit lower. We could do that in the 4 and the 5 iron, and you could use it as like a driving iron. I see a lot of guys do that, and they hit it off the tee a lot.
When you get lighter shafts, do you feel like your miss could be bigger with a lighter shaft if you get more club head speed, or no?
It's kind of on feel. Like with a lighter shaft, I kind of anticipate your miss with your swing going more that way because you can kind of pull it.
I can
right?
get it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you're bringing that shaft around a little bit quicker. So. And then here in these fittings, man, it can happen a lot. Kind of like Nick was saying earlier, it takes a little bit to get used to it with timing and everything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
just give me one more on that guy. I'm kind of not liking it. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm getting, again, I'm a beginner, so I can't really tell. Like when I look at the ball and I just take the club head back, I just try and pretty much hit it. So it feels like my club head's getting around me faster than what it was with the heavier one.
Good. Good swing there.
That one I just tried to pretty much use all legs, or
just try to
manipulate
it a little bit.
Yeah, manipulate.
And that's what we don't want you to do. We don't want you to manipulate it, right? We want you just to be able to swing free. I really like that shaft a little bit better for you, the 115 gram. We were right in the launch that we wanted.
What's the weight on that one compared to the one I started on?
10 grams heavier than the one you started on. Yeah, this one is 105 grams the Motus shaft versus 95 gram is the one that you started on. So we're going to go ahead and just get this one more time just to kind of confirm it. I really liked where we were at originally with the numbers. 2 degrees flat in the head right here. Remember how I bent that head a little bit? And then 115. And then I like this 4 gram weight back here for you. We got that launch up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of fine tuning you a little bit here just to make sure. All right, perfect. Just give me about 3 or 4 more swings on that guy.
See, I think I tried to do what I did with a lighter shaft, and now I'm going left a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, it'll take a minute to get used to
when you go weight classifications, like I said, a lot of times it's going to take a swing or two because your body is learning how to time up the shaft, and there's going to be something that comes with that.
That one might be right. Yeah. All right, now hopefully we go down the middle.
Take a look at one thing real quick.
So one of the questions that we got, just addressing it while he looks at some numbers, are all Pxg fitting bays locations the same? Do we utilize the same equipment, TrackMan, etc.? Headquarters is obviously our gem, but one thing we take a lot of pride in is making sure that our locations around the country all mirror this experience. So every location we use is TrackMan. We have a full matrix.
Don't show that.
The shaft offerings, everything you have is going to be the same in any retail store that you go to with us, and we have stores around the country, Minneapolis, Seattle, Atlanta, Chicago, with a lot more coming in pretty quick succession. But whether you're coming to our store or even if we're coming to you at a green grass facility, we're still utilizing the same matrix, the same TrackMan technology to make sure that we're giving you the same tour level fitting, regardless where you're having that experience. Is there a little hosel action in there? Did I hear?
I thought it was gonna be worse than what it was. It didn't go that far, unless the computer just making me feel better. But
our hosels are very soft, very forgiving.
Perfect. That was better, but I think I might be right.
So Tyler, talk me through where we're at, right? We've gone through head type, shaft type. Just kind of recap for me what you've liked head-wise, shaft-wise, and what we did with the weight change and where we stand right now.
Right now we're in this steel fiber 115 gram shaft. I really like the weight classification for them. We went 2 degrees flat in the head and we changed the head weight in this to 4 grams. I like the launch we're getting out of it. One thing I was just looking at on my computer is I could probably just go 1 degree flat, and I'm gonna do that really quick just to fine tune it. You're definitely gonna be flat in the head as far as your lie angle goes. I'm gonna go 1 degree just to get it a little bit better. No, 1 degree back the other way.
Oh, back the other way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And the cool thing about this that I tell all my customers is this is a forged iron, right? So like, let's say you start taking some lessons and your swing just gets better. Your speeds are gonna probably be pretty close, so you're gonna be in the same shaft. But if you aren't 1 degree flat anymore, your lie angle may change, right? And your instructor might say, hey, you need to go a little bit upright. That's no problem for us because you can just call in, we'll do a spec check, and I can bend them right here. It takes me like 15, 20 minutes. So
perfect.
You're not stuck in that for life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me go fine tune this real quick. I'll be right back.
And that's really one of the things that I love so much about this brand is that it really is a different relationship from a customer perspective.
Yeah.
We make, you talk about driver. Frankly, you have a really nice swing. You shouldn't be hooking the driver all over the place. We're going to fix that for you too.
Yeah.
That's a tech thing. We can address that and make that better, which I'm excited to get into with you, whether it's on camera or off, depending on timing. We'll help you with that. But we really do have an ongoing relationship with our customers to the point that we want to have feedback, how things are going, how we can be tweaking things over time. To his point, all of our clubs are forged, so we can adjust them over time as your swing changes, your game develops. And with our woods, we have a ton of ability to change the hosel configuration and change the weighting. So like what you experienced in the head when he went lighter on the weight on the back of the head and how you can feel the difference, we can do that on steroids for the woods to really eliminate or promote a certain ball flight. And that's one where that does change over time. I used to play a cut. Right now I'm fighting a bit of a hook, so I'll change my configuration to work through that. But we get you in the right weight classification shaft-wise so that we're in the right profile, but then the club can really fine-tune to work with what you're experiencing in your swing at that moment.
Yeah, okay.
So fitting-wise, how are you feeling? Is this about what you expected?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm kind of like, again, I don't really know like everything you guys are doing, like you guys are saying it, but I'm kind of like just looking at my ball flight. So on a dirt bike, like we go testing and like obviously I'm super in tune. So like doing this it's kind of the same thing with a golf club, but I'm obviously not as in tune with the golf club as I am a dirt bike. But yeah, it's cool what you can do with launch angle and distance and curvature, because I'm like a 12 or 13 handicap, and so I'm all over the place a little bit.
And that's really a part of the fitting, right? We want you to come in and give us feedback on what you're experiencing, what feels right, what feels wrong. I always tell someone when they're getting fit, really trust your gut instinct. This weight feels better, it feels worse. You don't need to understand why. That's our job, right? The staff at PXG, any fitter that you work with here, like this is what he does every day full time, right? So our job is to make it fun and to make it easy from your end. We want you to understand the tech enough to bring you in on why we're making some of the decisions, because we want you to have confidence that we're making the right decision together. But there's a lot of variables up there. It's our job to understand that and digest it and to know what direction to move you in. It's your job to give us feedback on what you're seeing and that we come to the right decision together.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so I fine-tuned this one. We're just right at 1 degree flat now in the head as far as the lie angle goes. So go ahead and give me a few swings on that. Again, walk me through how it feels, and we'll take a look at the numbers, and we'll be pretty much good with the irons, I think.
Oh, that
Little
way
hosel.
left.
Yeah.
Come on, give me one. Yeah. Perfect.
The best part about that is we can delete those.
That's true.
You get mulligans
Yeah,
in here.
can we cut that one off?
Yeah, we can delete that.
Yeah, there's a simple button and it goes away.
So with you going back to one back, does that make my draw going to get bigger again, kind of, or no?
It could. That's kind of what I was looking at. That one there, if I pull it up on the screen, that was a little bit of a closed club face to me.
Okay. That was chunked.
So Chase, if you look right here really quick, so this blue line signifies your club path. That red arrow is your face angle. So as you're swinging, that face angle was just shut on that one that drew a lot.
Wait, hold on. So the blue line is
the path of your swing,
and the red is
is going to be your face angle, right?
Okay.
So when you came through, like we were talking about earlier, a little bit inside out, right? And you just kind of shut that face down right there. So when you're inside out, shutting that face down, that's going to exaggerate that draw, right? So that's why that other one went way left like that.
Okay.
So just a little bit of timing. I still feel like we're in a really good setup right here.
Yeah, I feel like I hit that one pretty good, but.
So part of it, one thing that I would just call out is, do me a favor on one thing. It's always weird when you hit indoors for a while. Just remember, this is your center line.
Yeah, am I aimed this way?
Yeah, so part of it becomes natural when you watch people go through fittings over time that they'll start to aim off to one of the sides, right? So if we're out on a golf course and you're picturing this as your center line and the pin here,
I'm aimed over here.
You're going to be aiming over here.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So it's helpful and it's hard when you keep going from the same spot, but don't be afraid to kind of take a step behind it and visualize the shot you want to see, but you need it to be starting left of that.
Yeah, because so do you want me to aim this way more, or do you want me to aim down the line?
Aim as if the pin was the white line. Like if you were playing a par 3, that the pin would be on that white line. So for you, with a draw, you'd be starting it at the left side of the green, working it back to that white line.
So kind of right in here.
Yeah.
And then drawing it back to the white line.
Okay, so you're saying I'm actually aimed down the middle, but I need to aim left. That's what you're saying.
If you and I went and played on a golf course and we were looking at a par 3 and the pin was in the center, with you playing
I would aim over here.
You'd aim up to the left edge, right? So you want to look at this the same way.
Okay.
And that the white center line is your intended end target.
Okay. I'm trying to hit the ball straight, but it's not. Well, that one's kind of straight.
You're all good. I'm not trying to put a bunch of thoughts in your head. Just.
I have some mental breakdowns on the course, so.
Don't we all, brother? That's why this game's fun. So one of the questions was, did we actually bend the club to 1 degree, or do we change club heads? We are bending that on the fly. We do have different configurations of upright or flat that we can go to, but with this one and
are you
being
liking
a lefty,
the 2 degrees
we're
flat
working
a little
off that
better?
one
Did you
head.
feel more confident in that? Sorry, Nick.
No, you're good.
I think my ball flight was more consistent with the 2 degrees. Also, I could be, once I just keep swinging the golf club, I'm just going to get more and more like, I'm going to start thinking more, and then my swing just gets worse. So.
So you have a draw swing. That's just what you have, you know. One of the best advice I've got playing with a guy one time is I played with him 2 days in a row, and he shoots 65 one day hitting a draw, and he shoots 68 the next day hitting a fade, and he tells me it's just what he woke up with. So it's kind of like with you, you're just going to play that draw. We could minimize that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to go back the other way with it again. And I'm going to actually lengthen this shaft just a hair, and then we'll be pretty close. So I'm going to put you in a 1/2 inch over shaft on this. So it's going to be a little bit longer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, like some days I will, well, like you said, like I'll wake up the next day and I'll be hitting a slight fade, or I'll hit it dead straight. So today I obviously have the draw swing. So
yep, just go with it,
tomorrow
right?
can be completely different.
So a couple questions as he's making some changes there. One of the questions, how does the 0211 driver rank against the major brands? I would say we are a very major brand in the 0211. Honestly, it's when you look bang for your buck and what you're getting, if we're going to go off of cost and how it ranks that way, there's nothing in the golf industry that can touch that golf club. It is a carbon composite crown. We have adjustable weighting on the back. That thing will go toe-to-toe against anything you want to put against it, and dollar for dollar is the best value in the industry. One of the questions from Kevin, I'm a new golfer, less than 6 months. Should I wait to get fitted after a few lessons, or should I wait? How is Pxg for a new golfer? You know, we've talked throughout this about how we make really forgiving golf clubs, but that look the way a player wants them to, which I think addresses a new player very well. When you look at the XP or the 0211 iron, they're incredibly forgiving, and they bring a ton of technology but it's a really nice middle ground. You heard him talk about it. You look down at the XP, it still looks very clean and looks like a blade, but has the forgiving performance that a new golfer is really going to want. One thing, and we did a fitting session a little while ago with Terry McLaurin, who is the definition of a new golfer, and one of the things that we really saw with him and talked about a lot then is when you're new, there's things we can do in setup-wise, whether it's getting you the right length, the right weight configuration, to ensure that we're starting you off on the right foot. The old adage in golf is that everyone grew up playing clubs that were their dad's cut down and they're all too heavy and everything was too stiff, and that's why all the golfers always used to be really laid off at the top, because they grew up playing with a sledgehammer. We can make that a lot easier for you. If we start you off on the right foot, you don't spend the next number of years fighting those patterns. And as we've talked about, there's a lot of adjustability that we can do in our clubs to tweak them over time. And we do have an ongoing relationship with our customers and spec checks, and that we will work with you. We'll make adjustments to it. With our woods, there's a ton we can do configuration-wise, and you're gonna see that when we get into the driver. But that's the stuff that allows clubs to not only get you off on the right foot, but to really grow with you as a player, and a relationship with a brand in PXG that we're working with you as a player over your duration, not just where you're starting or the day you're buying that equipment. So I would definitely encourage you to take the time, work with a fitter, experience what we have to offer, and make sure that we're getting you in the right weight classification and the right setup for you. It's gonna make your learning curve a lot more enjoyable. All right, what are we doing here, brother?
We're going into that 1/2 inch longer shaft. We went back to the 2 degrees flat. I liked it better. I feel like you were a little more comfortable in that as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times, we just gotta try things and see what works and what feels good to you. Before I get you clubs, I like to be confident in them myself too. So, I got my name on these just like you want to play them. So.
Well, if I go out there and however I play, it's going to be blamed on you.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Absolutely, 100%, man. So we want to be confident in it. So.
As long as he gets the credit when you play well.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. All right, so we're going to be a little bit longer here.
So walk me through, just for people at home, I know where you're going with it, why longer, and why make that change?
I don't want that pool as exaggerated as he's been in this last one. So that's kind of why I'm making the change now. We're just trying to limit it, right? So your miss is still going to be right, okay? That's kind of your miss right now. I just don't want it to be that way as much. And by going a little bit longer, it's going to help you get that shaft out there, especially in this heavier shaft.
Okay.
Get your club head swinging out that way.
Yeah.
We're just going to kind of limit the miss a little bit more. Does that make sense? All right, we should be good. This is it, man. Let's do it.
All right.
This is it.
I got confidence in this one. It feels good. All right, I'm done.
Look at that.
Feel how nice
Look
and
at
tall
that.
you were able to stay through that?
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense too. Like if you have like obviously we're talking very small, but like if you have a smaller club, you're going to want to come across it to get down at it. And
Absolutely.
if you're longer, you're going to sweep out.
And especially you being about 6'1" or something, a half
Yeah.
inch is going to be perfect for you. I absolutely love this right now. What'd that launch at, Nick?
Nice little 18
That
with
was chunks.
5,300 spin.
5,300 spin at 18 degrees?
Yep.
That was chunk. But
Yeah, that was chunks. So
At
it's
least-
going to exaggerate the miss there a little bit, right? So we're getting a
Yeah.
little more spin on that. But that last one you hit was perfect, right in the ballpark of where we want to be.
that might have been thin, but I don't know.
I think that sounded pretty good.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
do you feel like
Yeah,
you
I'm
missed
done.
that a little?
Perfect. Yeah.
I feel like I missed it maybe a tad, like a little thin, but like,
Yep.
I don't know, I've had some of my best shots that are thin, so.
No, and the biggest difference there and why he went to that longer length, so we've made a number of adjustments here, right? We got you in a heavier weight category. That's also a shaft that has a lot of weight towards the grip end.
Yeah.
So it's going to change where you feel the weight in it and how it bends to you. We've adjusted the line goal to 2 degrees flat. We've gone to a lighter weight in the back of it to get you a little bit more speed. And by going to that longer length, it allows you to stay taller and be more rotational through it, which for your miss is going to take some of that out of play. There's a lot of elements that go into it. And again, from your end, hopefully it feels easy, right? We're addressing
Yeah.
them one thing at a time and we're pulling the numbers out of the back end. But you see as we make the progression, like, yes, that felt better,
Yeah.
that felt faster, the headline's up to the way you want. And it's to the point that when you get to the right combination, the fun part of a fitting is that when you get to the right combination, you're going to be the one to tell us. It's not us telling you.
Yeah.
This is really a process. We're here to assist in what you're going through and make it easy, but you're going to know when you get to the right thing, and that's always the fun part. When someone hits one and they turn, it's like, yeah, man, that's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because we know that, and we need you to have that confidence, and carry it to the game.
Absolutely.
I always had the motto, with a golf, you could hit a wood club as long as you hit it good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, as long as you have confidence in it. But, all right. If I hit this one good, then we're done.
Not if, when.
Yeah.
Let's hit one more solid one here.
Sounded good. Look at that.
Notice,
Well, I'm missing left, actually, so I like that.
yeah, and it's not even missing left. It's just that it's not curving enough that it's staying in the lane you're starting it down, which is great. And I can tell you, things I look for just watching, those have been the 3 best swings you've had in terms of finishing on a nice, tall balance point where you're rotating around. That's the more we get you just rotating athletically, the more we're going to take out of that and the easier it's going to be.
Yeah.
I can't wait to solve your driver problems here in a second. This is gonna
If we solve the driver problems, we're gonna be playing pretty good, because that's where I lose all my strokes off the tee. So
Is the driver?
most of them.
I love that, dude. That's
Yeah.
good. I like this
Thank
right
you.
here.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You want to grab some driver heads there, brother?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So as he's working on those, couple questions that came in and things I would touch on. So spec checks, one of the things we talked about that's pretty unique to PXG. It just is a different brand. We are very much a relationship, partnership company, and this is an ongoing thing. We're going to talk about it with the woods, and we've talked about with the irons, but there's a lot of things that we can do to tweak things over time as player needs, right? So we're seeing with his pattern is that he's, a little bit underneath and a little bit of a draw swing. Let's say he works on that over a period of time, gets to a point where he wants to be playing more of a cutter. We're seeing a little bit different ball flight. That's something where we're happy to work with him as a player, and we appreciate the opportunity to touch base with him and see how is his equipment doing and is it performing the way he wants to. Do we need to make adjustments in the lie and loft on his irons as his game progresses? Is it something where we need to be reevaluating the shaft configuration, set makeup, whatever that is? And in woods, should we be looking at the hosel configuration in terms of flat, upright, what we do with the weighting? That's just part of the ongoing relationship with our brand, and it's really one of the most enjoyable things about our end as a fitter. We get to develop a personal relationship because every person that we're working with, we don't do large demo days. We do one-on-one fittings where we really have the ability to understand your game and who you are as a player and build that relationship that continues on over time. So spec checks are just a part of that relationship for us, a way for us to touch base with you and check in, how's your game doing, how's your equipment doing. One of my favorite texts I ever send is, if someone's got their member guest coming up, it's a big event, I love sending the text a month beforehand, how we feeling, is your bag looking the way you want, is everything performing the way you need it to, and what can I be doing as a fitter to make sure that you're ready for the days that are the most important for you on the course. One of the other questions we got, is it worth traveling to a major location for a fitting, or is it, air quotes, safe to trust the smaller fitting locations? I'm in Vegas. The beauty of PXG and how we work with you as a consumer, whether you're coming to one of our retail locations, whether you're coming to one of our hubs, which you're in Las Vegas, we have a great partnership with Dragon Ridge where you can go to their facility, schedule time with us through our website, and get fit by a certified full-time PXG fitter. Or we can come to your green grass facility. There is no big or small with us. I think the stores are the best expression of who we are as a brand, and you understand in 2 seconds when you walk in our facility what we stand for and the experience you want us to have. But we do have hubs around the country. We have stores around the country, and we will come to green grass locations around you. We have the largest fitting network of any manufacturer in golf. And regardless of where you are, we're going to work really hard to make it a local experience to you, but with a PXG certified fitter who's coming with a full tour level TrackMan setup, the full fitting component, and ensure that whether you walk into the door here in Arizona, we work with you on a tour driving range if you were a tour player, whether we come to you at your local golf course or at a hub in Las Vegas, that you're having the exact same quality PXG experience. That's incredibly important to us. I see one more question. I'm going to let you guys get rolling on this, and I'll come back to this one, but we're going to start doing some work on drivers and just walk through where we're starting and why.
Okay. So we're starting in the X head. It's a little lower spinning driver. All right. I'm trying to stop that hook a little bit, and then I've got a 10-8 orange shaft. This is a counterbalance shaft. For my righties, I call it my anti-left shaft. For you, it's going to be the anti-right shaft, hopefully, right? So Again, just trying to make that miss not as big to the right. So swing a couple. These will just go in the mat anywhere here. Just kind of keep it next to that tee and that box for the TrackMan, and we'll go from there.
All right, let's go get a little wild here.
No, you're good.
Big swing.
Yep.
Low.
Yeah, so that's another one of my misses. For some reason, I like to top my driver a lot. So, like if you put a creek right here, good chance my ball's going in there. So,
give me a couple on that. I'm going to grab another head really quick.
there it is.
That's the one that keeps you up at night?
That and the top.
Okay.
But it seems like I'll keep raising the tee higher and higher, but my top never goes away.
Oh, that's good.
All right. I probably need to tool that a little bit.
Okay, just hang tight for a second. He's going to grab a couple different heads. That's one on drivers, much like irons. We have 3 different offerings in driver heads that will address different things for you as a player, right? And shaft does an absolute ton, but we always try and take one variable at a time if possible. So he's grabbing some different driver heads, and we're going to work through driver even more so than irons, because we can design them to different shape, different center of gravity, and it's a much larger piece of equipment, obviously. There's a lot more we can do about really figuring out where your center of gravity needs to be. And one of the things when you look at our drivers is the adjustable weights in the bottom. So we get you in the right head configuration. That times up with your swing. Hosel, we can make it flat, upright, the same way we did with irons. We can make it open or close, try and slow that down. Beyond that, we can change the weighting to promote a draw, to promote a cut, whatever you'd want that to be. And that's without even addressing the shaft, which does a ton in terms of where the weight is in your hands and what we're trying to do there.
Perfect.
Yeah, my driver swing, like at this point, it feels like awkward. Like I don't feel comfortable. So
Your choice of adjectives is wonderful on your golf game. I like that. Oh.
Go with the 10-5 here. I'm getting an XT head coming, so.
Yeah. So one of the questions that came up was, what characteristics would you as a fitter advise a customer to move towards different heads? And one of the things that I would say, and hopefully that you've seen with what we're doing here, is that how a player ends up in a certain head, and I understand part of the question here is how do you decide between 0211, 0311, Gen 2, Gen 3? There's certainly going to be an element of that is price conscious. Obviously, as a fitting, we want to work with all aspects of what you need as a consumer, and budget is certainly an important one of those. But we're going to have you experience what we have to offer, whether it's 0211, where we have a very forgiving technology, 0311, where you've seen that we have 3 different heads that we can work through. What you've seen here today and what we do in all our fittings is that it's going to be a conversation where we're providing the data and really streamlining it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be driven by you as a consumer, what your preferences are in terms of look and feel, what you want to see in a set makeup, and price is a consideration of that. One thing that I love from Mr. Parsons, and I've heard it before, we do have the Gen 4. It's an expensive golf club. It's expensive for us to make. It is the best iron that the golf industry has, and there is a premium cost associated with that. With the 0211, we take a lot of those signature technologies and bring it down to a more affordable price point for a lot of players, while still giving you an incredible PXG experience. But one of the comments I've loved from Mr. Parsons is that we're never going to apologize for giving someone exceptional equipment at a fair price. And whether it's the 0211 Gen 4, like I said, we have a ton that we can offer you, and you're going to get a really good in-depth fitting to ensure that the combination is right for you in the end. But it's going to be dictated by you in terms of look, feel, price, and other variables. And we want to be able to cover you as a player regardless of what your needs are, performance-wise, cost-wise, or anything else. Delivery.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so I got you in that X head again right here, 9 degrees. We're going to hit a couple in this, and then we're going to switch heads. And I'll kind of explain to you what the difference is in the heads as I pop them in there, all right? All right, go ahead.
Put a racing stripe on that one for you.
Yeah, I like it.
Good.
That was a deep breath there. Do you does it bum you out when you see it go right?
I'm just used to it at this point.
Yeah, it's all right.
Give me a
get
couple
there.
more.
I can just I don't even have to look at the ball. I know where it's gonna go, unless I top it.
One of the cool things about that is we can play with the weights in the bottom of that too, and help with that a little bit. So I just want a couple swings on this just so I can kind of get some numbers and idea with where I'm going to go with the driver. Little off the bottom of the face there.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I kind of want to see where you're launching it, see what kind of degree head I'm going to have you in, then we're going to kind of swap around some things. We can open the face of that, help with that draw. We can add some weights to it. I'm going to put you in a different head here that's more of a fade biased head in a minute.
I hit that one a lot better. I have a problem with my driver. I hang on my back foot, and then that's what causes my top a little bit, because I'm just swinging so far up at it.
What, you felt like that one was hit a little bit better?
So that one I just noticed, which I need to constantly do on the course. I need to move my weight on the front of my foot, through my swing.
Right.
A lot of them are hanging back here, and that's why I feel like I'm getting that top, and it's not comfortable.
Coming over to the top of it here. All right. Does that one spin pretty high, Nick, on that guy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked
that
a little
was it
spinny
before.
to me. So the higher the spin with the driver, the more spin. I was asking if it's high. That one looks good on the screen, right? But the more spin we have, the faster it's going to dive out of the air, and we're going to lose some distance. So we want to bring the spin down as low as possible for you probably, and just try to get it into something where we can get maximum yardage. And then we'll kind of work on that right thing. So
I don't really want to know how far those went, but what was the last one?
241, but to this point, that's because it's spinning a lot and was up. We need to take the spin off that to keep it in the air longer. So Tyler, just talk through what head you were in, what head you're going to, and why.
So we were in the X head. It's a little bit less spin. I know we were just talking about more spin as I switched this, but this is an XT head. This is a little bit more fade bias, so I'm going to kind of try and help that draw that he's doing in this head and see where it goes. I'm going to move the weight to the front. So there's heavy weights in here, and that's going to help take the spin down as well, okay? How's it feeling to you overall, as far as the feel of it? How's it look? You like the look of it?
Sounds good too. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds even better outside, man.
Yeah.
It sounds so cool outside. I love it. So yeah, this is something you can play around with too. So when you get weights in here, this is kind of what I'm doing right now. So we're going to take the heavy weight and pop it in the front. It's going to lower the spin a little bit. If you have a problem hitting the ball low, you could drop this weight in the back and it'll help get it up a little bit. But we're just going to try and get max distance right now and then go from there.
I don't know, how I feel like I hit my irons, I should hit my driver a lot farther than when I do hit it. I don't hit my driver 250, pretty much.
250?
I can also hit it 280, but normally average is probably 250.
Okay.
Which is not very far, but.
Well, that's promising for me. I mean, if you just hit that one 240 and we're spinning it a lot, we're going to be able to beat 250. So.
There she is.
All right, give me one more with that guy, and then we're going to kind of take a look at it on the screen, all right?
Is this the fade bias?
Yep.
It looks a lot. Does it look different from looking at it too, or no?
It's going to be a little bit flatter.
It looks, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
Do you not like the look of that, or is
No,
that okay
I just
to your eye?
I just noticed it compared to what I'm used to.
All right, just give me one more on that. And we're going to probably yank that head right away.
Which is.
I'm going to give you a little more loft on it too.
Yeah.
What head do you want, Tyler?
Is there 10.5 over there I grab?
In the X or XF? That's the X.
I don't have the XF.
I hit that one better.
All right,
That was a little better.
I would just check ball position a little bit too.
Yep. All right. So we're just going to increase the loft on this a little bit. Sometimes that can help with spin.
So as you guys are changing those out, just a couple questions that I'm going to hit here from Michael. Do you feel the standard shafts, no cost increase, cover the vast majority of golfers? You know, we work really hard on our shaft matrix to ensure that player profile-wise, we can address whatever you're looking for, whether that's where the weighting profile and the bend profile is, weight classifications, obviously length classifications. We do a really nice job in our matrix of making sure that we have things at over length. We do driver shafts across our entire matrix up to 46 inches to make sure that we're covering different player needs on that. But we are very particular about looking at the shafts that are no upcharge offerings from us, that we have a really nice representation of graphite steel weight classifications, like in our iron shafts. We've got a really nice graphite MMT offering, and then we'll go 95 up to 120 grams. That is all no upcharge, and we really try and keep those things pretty minimal. Part of the reason when we do have upcharges on our shafts is because we use the best shafts that we can get. We don't manufacture our own shafts. These are industry authentic shafts, and we're not trying to make money on them, but there is a cost in doing that. So we work really hard with our vendor partners to have a nice offering that you can get into at no upcharge. And when we do have things that are going to cost a little more, we try to make that a very reasonable cost that we're passing along. And the other question just on the bottom here, which of the fairway woods are considered low profile? So we have actually at the moment 3 different levels of fairway wood options, really all wonderful from player performance, just a matter of what you're looking for. Gen 4 is our flagship. It's the best of what we can do with it, really unique weighting to it. What we do with some of the aluminum vapor and how it stiffens the crown, there's just some really, really cool industry-leading tech in that. The prototype fairway woods allow us quite a bit of adjustability, that you have an additional weight in there, but again, still that same carbon fiber construction. But that's what I love. Even when you get down to the 0211 with us, it's still the same technology and construction type. It's going to be a little bit larger of a fairway wood because it in general is addressing a little bit player type. So I would say lowest profile is going to be Proto and Gen 4. Those are a very similar tour proven prototype footprint. And 0211, it still looks very clean, but it's going to give you a little bit different launch characteristics. And that's something when you go through a fitting with us, and we do encourage whenever possible for you to do an in-person fitting or a phone fitting. We have a really good player support team that does a wonderful job over the phone of really asking the right questions and talking through options and trying to understand what you want. But that again, that's going to be a decision that's dictated by the player working in conjunction with a fitter of what do you like the looks of. And there's nothing better than getting your hands on it and really seeing what resonates with you and feels best when you look down at it. So always encourage that, but at a minimum, if you can, call into player support. They're super helpful and they can really talk you through a lot of those options as well. We've got them teed up here. Just walk through where we are at now and what we're looking, why we went that way.
All right, we're back in the X head at 10.5 degrees. All right, so we're hoping to get that launch up a little bit more, take some spin off of it, and then I put you in an extra stiff shaft. The more flex we have in a staff, your swing speeds are high enough that you can be in an extra stiff. Yeah. But the more flex we have, the easier it is to miss that. For righties, the hook. For you, the hook. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we're going to stiffen this up a little bit and see if we can't help eliminate that as much as possible.
And Chase, the only thing I'd say for you as a player, and I'm saying this just because of a comment that you made, with your irons, you do a really nice job staying down through it and helping it. With the woods, when you talk about sometimes I feel like my miss is that I hang back and try and help it. That's a natural reaction to someone whose miss at times is that they launch it low or launch it a little bit thin. Don't feel like you have to help it, right? You're still rotating around the same way you are with an iron. Yeah. So I would just say, feel the same way you do with that iron. Stand tall, be athletic, rotate through it. The club, you're going to launch it the way that it should. Yeah. But the more that you kind of subconsciously try and help it, that's going to flatten it out and hook it more the same way that it did with an iron, right? So stand tall, just be athletic and get through it.
little higher.
Yeah, it's getting a little better on the launch there. I'm going to move that ball, so go ahead and set up if you don't mind. I'm going to try one thing for you real quick. So set up. All right, now stay right there. Try not to move. I'm going to move this a little bit right here. Just feel like you're reaching for that a little bit more, and kind of hold that face open just a hair longer when you swing. Better, better.
So what, are we trying to get more height on it?
What's that?
So you have it at the moment, you have the driver teed up a little bit center in your stance, right? And if you think of it, you played baseball, right? So if we think of it from a baseball's perspective, if you want to, we're both lefties, right? If you wanted to hit a ball to left field, you're hitting it back more in the center of your stance. If you really want to pull it, you've got to get it in the front of your stance and get behind it. It's the same thing with driver. When it's a little bit far in your stance, you're not giving yourself enough time to really square up and to get it out in front of you. So that's where ideally it'd be interesting to see, like, set up to one, just what you feel like is your normal setup.
See, my whole thing was that I more put it back here, so like either I'm not going to top it, or I'm not going to get like, because where I feel like I get my misses, I get here, like, or I get here and my club face is like closed.
Yep.
So that's when I feel like I'm hooking the ball.
Okay.
So if I put the ball on my, say like right inside my heel, I feel like I have more time to get my club face too far shut, and that's where I feel like I hook it. But
so set up to what feels normal to you on one. So where do you feel like that is in your stance?
I mean, pretty much like, center.
Right. So we want to see it about here. And I understand what you're saying, but it's a long club and it needs that much time to get out in front of you.
Okay.
Right. So it's like all golfers.
Is that better?
Even more.
More?
Yeah, there you go.
We talk ourselves.
That feels so weird.
But don't try and help it. Just stay and rotate through it.
Stay and rotate through it, and keep that left shoulder back a little. If you keep that left shoulder back, better.
That's right.
You're going to rotate on your own. You're athletic enough that you're going to rotate, right? You don't have to concentrate on that. So just kind of trust it. Keep that shoulder back a little bit. Keep it in the front of your stance for a minute.
Shoulder. So this one.
Yeah, keep it back behind. You're kind of coming over a little bit, and that's what's helping that pull.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if I had a shaft and I stuck it right here the whole time, you could stay back.
So I need to be back here?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's high.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that's high. That's a little more high than what we wanted. But once we get that kind of dialed in, then we can kind of lower the loft on that thing and get you to exactly where we want to be. So that was a really, really good swing. Kind of rotating.
Yeah.
So your club face is just dead shut at impact, right? That's kind of what's causing that. So give me a couple more.
You guys thought I was joking when I told you to have it.
No,
back.
you're good. And for people at home, this isn't normal what we would go through on this. Obviously, he's a good sport, and we're messing around with him, and you can't
feel good.
Be around two golf nerds and tell us that you hook everything off the planet and have us not want to play with you a little bit and try and help it.
That was really good.
Like, does that make your heart a little happier?
That one felt good, but that's like,
276, and we spun that at 2580. That's right in our wheelhouse of where we want to be. That other one that we were talking about earlier when you were up in the 4000s with spin, that was great. That's a good shot right there.
Yeah, and our goal when someone comes in for a fitting, we're fitting you for the golf swing that you have. We're also trying to ask questions about where you're going as a player, what you're working on developmentally, and we're trying to take that into consideration. We're happy to offer feedback on it with some of these. Again, we get someone fun and we want to have a little therapy session with them on what the miss is and what we can do to help.
Couldn't you get any farther right than that?
That's all right. I can't let you end on that.
No, we're not going to end on that one. Really good swing.
All right. Deep breath. Just trust it and good swing.
Trust where that ball position is, too.
How's that?
It's all right. Good.
I definitely hit that high.
Better.
See, I can do it
right?
that.
Yeah.
Left, we're good. Not over there.
And it's the stuff where you can just see the difference. Right? You're not trying to help it. You just get out through it. So
Absolutely.
You know, we talk a lot about, we joke around about that. Our goal isn't instruction, our goal is fitting. We appreciate you being a good sport and letting you have some fun with it. We can't let someone that athletic be hooking the ball off the planet, right? We can help you fix that one as a player. But, you know, just a couple final questions. We looked at, obviously we go through a lot of things here. We do offer a lot of full bag fittings. That was one of the questions we got. How long does that usually take? We normally schedule an hour and a half for that period of time. Honestly, that's a lot of time to work through things, and we need to be cognizant as fitters and making sure that we're not wearing you out either. It's a lot of shots, so we have to be very mindful of how we work through that progression. And we're taking what we learn, like this is a great example. What we learned from the irons is that heavier and counter-weighted is really helpful for him, because if someone's missed, then we go into a driver recommendation. We're carrying that knowledge forward when we go into the shafts on that side of it as well, so that we're being conscientious, but also not wasting a bunch of swings, because there is a finite number to how many good swings someone's going to have in a day. But do me a favor, Tyler, wrap up, just kind of recap what you put them in and why, iron-wise, driver-wise, and why we ended up in those recommendations.
Absolutely. So in the iron, we'll start off. We ended up in that player's head, right? A little bit more forgiving than the tee. I know the tee looks cooler. We talked about that, but your misses aren't going to be as exaggerated. We ended up in a 115-gram shaft with a half-inch longer, right? That's when we started seeing that awesome draw. You were hitting it high, and our spin numbers were right where we wanted to, so we wouldn't lose distance on that ball. 2 degrees flat in the head. That helped with the exaggeration of the miss to the right, so that's going to be perfect for you. I'm really happy in that. I feel like you were at the end too.
Yeah.
As far as the driver, we ended up going up with that 10.5 degree, and I put the weight in the front of that, which is better. And then once we got in that X-Flex, I mean, we're still hooking it a little bit, but as that swing got dialed down a little bit, the numbers were right where we wanted, 2,500 on the spin, which was awesome. Yeah. And that's where we got max distance at 275. We kind of go off our good shots when we fit, because we want to, you know, be able to tell, hey, this is where we're going to be able to get to. So really happy with where we're at in both.
Yeah. Those good shots are very far and few between with my driver. So.
Now, and we'll work on it. And that's one where, again, there's so much that we can do configuration-wise in terms of weighting and adjustability that this is, we're getting you in the right weight profile shaft-wise and the right head configuration, but there's a lot of tweaks as you work on this and kind of work through it that we can help you with, and that club can really change with you and grow with you over time, which is why it's fun. So from your end, what do you think? Easy?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Like I said, I do a lot of testing on my dirt bike and for racing and stuff, but it's honestly, it's pretty similar, obviously, to the golf club, and it's a lot of feel, and it's just really cool to see the different kinds of testing you can do, and hopefully when I go to the course, it lowers my score a little bit, but if not, it's going to be blame on him. But no, it's been fun.
Hey, step one is know who to blame, and that's important.
That's
At least now we know that that's Tyler's fault. But you know what I would hope that you take away at home is it's easy, it's fun, and that you don't have to bring your perfect swing here, right? We're going to work with you. There's going to be good shots and bad. We're not trying to always fit your perfect shot. We're trying to make your bad shot as playable as it possibly can be. This is a game of misses, and the more we can bring up the bottom end of your game, that's where you're really going to see the difference. We're always going to make your perfect shot incredible. That's what we do, but we're trying to make every shot you hit better than it would have been otherwise. But hopefully from your end, you see it's easy, it's painless, and it's fun, and there's no pressure on it. We work really hard to make it a fun experience for you and to do the dirty work behind the scenes to bring everything to life and make sure that we're getting you the right recommendation. But really appreciate you being a good sport. Thank you so much for doing this. It's good to get to know you a bit. And Tyler, nice job. Thanks for everything you did. And for everyone at home, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the questions. And we look forward to continuing doing these and seeing you guys down the road. Thank you.